Hi, everyone. This is Tim Barron with Rocket Matter. Thank you so much for joining us today for another episode in our legal productivity webinar series. And today we have our very own Ed Case and Rivka Chaya Bushell, who will talk about how thoughtful design and intuitive workflows help you to better manage your practice. Just a quick overview of what's to follow before I introduce our presenters. So Rocket Matter launched a complete redesign of the user interface along with new workflow tools earlier this month. So lots of research went into the effort, including conversations and surveys with law firms that use the product and other lawyers and legal technologists. So we wanted to understand their pain points and their goals and create an experience that was not just productive, but enjoyable as well. And what we'd like to do in the next 30 minutes or so is give you an insight into the process and the reasoning behind some of our decisions and show you the results. Alrighty, so let's get started by introducing our presenters. Ed Case is the lead UX UI designer for Rocket Matter. He's been coding and designing cloud-based applications and websites for over a decade. His fine arts background blends well with his focus on user-centered design, and he loves making things that people are passionate about using. And let me tell you, I've worked with Ed for many years. He truly is passionate, supremely talented, and the work he produces is just awesome. We love him here. And Rivka Chaya Bushell is a Rocket Matter product specialist. Having navigated through life in a family full of lawyers, Rivka finds a perfect fit for her talents in a company that specializes in legal productivity and making the lives of lawyers a whole lot easier. And I can attest to that Rivka knows practice management inside and out. She talks to lawyers all the time about their concerns. And as a matter of fact, she's so good that we've stolen her to help out with our webinar. So thank you, Rivka. All right. So, hey, guys, it's all yours. Take it away.
So thanks so much for joining us today, and we hope that we can provide a very informative and enlightening webinar for you guys and give you some insight into Rocket Matter's new user interface and what some of the reasoning and decision making that went behind this redesign, and why we made some of the decisions that we did. The million-dollar question is, does design affect or enhance productivity and efficiency? And the resounding answer is yes, it does. And there's a lot of ways that we can tell that it does. And one of the most important ways is through usability studies. Putting something in front of a person, putting two versions of something in front of multiple people and seeing how easy it is for them to complete a task or complete a certain action. And that's how you know that design, it really does have an effect. And there's tons of psychology and studies that have gone into this sort of thing that have really verified how design affects a person's mental state and how it can enhance and actually facilitate them when it comes to completing certain goals. So what we're going to do today is we're going to take a look at Rocket Matter. I'm going to go into our old design and show you. Rocket Matter was developed, I think, sometime around 2007. And at the time, it was a very cutting-edge application. It was the first of its kind, actually. And the user interface that was designed at the time was very good. It worked very well, and it accomplished a lot of the goals that it needed to, and people liked it, and it became a very successful product. As time progressed and the web has evolved incredibly over that time span, this design hasn't really evolved that much with it. And we have a lot of users who use it and they're used to it, but we thought that there were some real opportunities to improve this interface, and in doing so, just really enhance the productivity and empower our users to get things done quicker, more efficiently, and also more pleasurably. I mean, that's really our goal, is to have our customers jump into Rocket Matter and be happy and want to be there and want to spend time there and want to spend time utilizing the tools and leveraging the tools that we're offering. So that's kind of what we did. And you'll see here in our original design, we kind of have a strip that's just right here in the middle of the screen. All the information is kind of I don't want to say crammed, but it's all contained within that strip. And why is that? Well, when Rocket Matter was first created, a lot of monitors, this would be the whole screen. This is a fixed width design, so it's, I think, 960 pixels, and that is was the size of a lot of monitors back then. So there really wasn't a lot of real estate wasted. But as you can see in my modern screen here today, there's a lot of real estate here at both sides of the application that's just kind of not being used. And we just view that as an opportunity. You know, I think good design is going to leverage its medium, and this is our medium. You know, the screen that you're going to look at and interact with. So you'll see with the new Rocket Matter design, one of the things right away is it takes up the whole screen. We're going to utilize everything that you have to offer. If you have a nice big monitor, if you have, you know, one of these big iMacs or a nice 27-inch monitor, you're going to get Rocket Matter covering every pixel of that monitor and display. And what does that do? Why does that improve productivity? Because we're able to distribute the information across the page in a much more user-friendly manner, and we're able to create spaces and white space around these individual items. We're able to have padding and borders and white space, and what that does for a user, you might not realize it as you're using the application, but it allows you to focus. It allows you to focus with less distraction and clutter. When you're using the old interface, you might not realize it, but there's a lot of other things going on visually that can confuse your mind and your brain and kind of be in the way in your peripheral sort of sight and vision. And one of the benefits to expanding the layout of Rocket Matter is we were able to really leverage the white space that we had or that we didn't have before, and make the application a lot more compartmentalized, so that you could go into each section and kind of focus your attention on that. And it seems like a subtle thing, but it really can have a profound effect. If this is something that you're using day in and day out for multiple hours a day, that really adds up over time. And the strain, the stress on the eyes, and all those sorts of little things really compound and can create stress. So we try to remove that stress. Another thing we did, now that we had the space, is that we increase the font size. We don't want your eyes to have to strain to read the information on your screen. In the old interface, you know, quite frankly, a lot of the fonts were very tiny. If you look at some of these here and some of these here, if you have vision problems, or if your, you know, eyes aren't the sharpest, you know, you're squinting, you're looking, it's not incredibly easy to decipher a lot of the information. So one thing we did is we made sure that we increased the font size, made things easier to read, easier to understand. And again, that's going to make you more productive when you can decipher things quickly in a less stressed environment. So you'll see we utilized all the screen space, and one of the other things that's cool about that is, say you don't have a big screen, say your screen is a little bit smaller. You know, say you don't have a big screen, so your screen isn't that big. That's okay. We're going to reformat the information, and we're going to we have what's called a responsive design, so that it's going to reconfigure itself based on the width that you have available. Another thing that we've added too is the ability to collapse this menu to give you the most possible bang for your buck when it comes to real estate. So if you are at a coffee shop, maybe you're on your MacBook Air, you don't have a lot of space, you can collapse that menu to make sure you're getting the most out of what you have to work with. So those are just some of the simple ways, the subtle ways that design can enhance a person's productivity and efficiency when they're using an application. Some of the other ways that they can be enhanced is some of the layout and some of the positioning and some of the workflows that we're going to add. One thing that we've added recently is this Matter Quick add. Now, if you need to add a matter in a very quick situation, you can just type a client a matter name and you can add a matter. We've added this Add New button, which is a very popular addition, to where now you have the ability from anywhere within the application to add any of these activities. There was a lot of places in the old application where you didn't have access to a lot of these add actions. Now, no matter where you are, you can carry out all those tasks. And then say you're in a matter view, now we're in this matter dashboard, you'll notice this has changed now. We have a couple additional items. We can do it. We can add a merge document. We can add files or URL. We can add a note. So the application kind of knows where you are, and it does its best to try to give you access to the tools that you need to accomplish some of the tasks that you're going to need to accomplish. So one of the other big changes to the application is the navigational panel. So as you can see, it's over here on the left. In the old Rocket Matter, the navigational panel was on the right. And what we found through usability testing and a lot of research is that the most natural place for navigation is going to be on that left panel. And some of the reasons for that is if you're a right-handed person, most people are, or a lot of people are, your mouse tends to hang out over here. So you don't want to be clicking the menu incidentally, and this is where you're going to kind of be doing most of your work in this right side of the screen. Now we have our navigation here, it kind of gets in the way. Another reason is we're left to right readers. So we want to have our navigation over on the left-hand side, which is the instinctive place for our eye to begin as we start to scan and scroll across a page. So we moved our navigation over to the left-hand side to give it a much more natural placement. Some of the other things we've done too is we've pulled some of our navigational elements to the forefront, to the top layer here. So now you have access to reports, where before you would have to go into settings and you'd have to go into your reports that way. So we reduced some clicks there and we brought reports to the forefront. So we thought that was an important enhancement when it comes to your navigational model. So what we tried to do with this initial sweep was we tried to take a lot of the visual sort of shortfalls of where we were and start fresh with a new foundation with a clean canvas. And that's what we've done with this Atlas release. And as we move forward, we'll continue to enhance the workflows based on user feedback and user testing, and continue to iterate over this design and make Rocket Matter as efficient and intuitive as we possibly can. Uh-oh. There we go. So that's kind of where we are when it comes to design and how it can enhance. You know, if anybody has any specific questions or comments or concerns when it comes to design or any feedback or input, we're going to have a Q&A session at the end of the webinar where we'd be happy to discuss any of the decisions that we've made or you know, have a dialogue when it comes to the design of the application. So at this time, I'm going to pass control over to Rivka, who's going to show you some additional workflows on how they can really speed your efficiency and your productivity within Rocket Matter.
All right, thanks so much. Thank you so much for your explanation and the background that you shared, and really thank you for creating such a beautiful UI. I can speak for myself and our support team, and so many of our clients were really thrilled with the new interface.
Thank you.
Yeah. So all right. So let's talk about some of that. You know, some other ways that you know, Rocket Matter and can how you can automate your workflow and make your life a lot easier. So there's a new feature now in Rocket Matter called Matter Templates, which again makes it easy to automate your workflow when you're creating matters and their associated activities. First, let's talk about what is a matter template. So when you create a matter, you create a fresh, which includes your matter details and any associated events and tasks associated with the case. So some cases are similar in structure and they require a similar workflow step. So for example, if you're a family lawyer, there may be a standard format for the way that you handle divorce cases, let's say an uncontested divorce case. So instead of constantly recreating the same steps, information, or even contact information, if you can create a template and then reapply that template when you're creating new cases, it saves a tremendous amount of time and helps with your organization. And it saves a lot of energy and effort. So let's dive right in. Here we are back on our user dashboard, and I'm gonna head on over to the admin section. The admin section, as you can see, there's a lot of powerful functionality back here. We're gonna head over to the Matter Templates section, which is where our Matter templates are stored. I'm gonna click on Manage Matter Templates. And you can see that we already have several Matter templates that have already been created and they're stored, but let's go ahead and create a new one. All right, so we're gonna add our template name so we can identify it. We're gonna call it Uncontested Divorce 1.2, and we're gonna put in our description. client petitioner. All right, and we're going to put in a matter name placeholder. And we have the ability to designate what type of billing. This time we're going to designate this as a flat fee because a lot of uncontested divorces, of course, are flat fees. We're going to set this as $1,500. And we have the option of setting a statute of limitations or limiting the viewing of the matter. We're going to leave them as is for now. All right, and now we have the option of entering additional data. So I'm going to set we're going to set the primary attorney as Sally. All right, and I'm actually going to Rocket Matter and in general Matter templates. You can add custom fields and custom data, which is really helpful, especially every unique law firm they have specialized specialized requirements for cases, such as maybe the names of children or a tax ID number. So we're going to add a relationship here. We're going to add a custom field, and we're going to call this let's call this spouse. All right, and we're going to leave that relationship as is. We're also going to add, again, we're going to add some, we're going to actually add the name of the spouse, or we can actually add, let's add a common co-counsel who always works with us on this case. And let's say his name is Sam Smith. All right, so we're putting in a common relationship that we want to repeat on this case. And here we're going to add custom fields. So one of our custom fields can be, and we're going to add a new contact if it's not already in our system. We're going to save that. We're being prompted to add that new contact. All right, and we've added Sam Smith as a contact. And now we're going to add our custom fields. So let's say we want to add a field for county. And let's say we want to add a custom field for the marriage date. That's information that we always want to be collecting in an uncontested divorce case. We also have the ability to add custom tags, which makes it easy to locate information. So let's add a divorce, a tag that indicates that this is a divorce case. And let's say a tag that also indicates this is a family law case. All right, and we've added our tags. All right, so so we've added, we're adding we're predefining contacts or data relationships in our matter, and in this way you don't have to constantly be re-inputting information. So if you're always working with a certain agency, you don't always have to re-input their information and their contact information. You can store it in the matter template. All right, now we're moving down, and now we're going to start creating a to-do list of items of calendar events and tasks, which will be associated with our matter. And so we're going to go ahead and create our initial event, okay? And we're going to call this, the initial meeting with client, which of course is a logical first step. And we are actually going to make this event a milestone. A milestone, marking an event as a milestone allows the linking of other tasks and events to the activity. So that allows us to create a cascade of events. So for example, after this initial meeting with the client, it triggers other events. And we're going to create another event which will be triggered by the completion of the initial meeting with the client. Let's go ahead and do that now. And let's say this takes place at the office. And this takes place, we're not giving it any specific date. And let's say it starts at 9 a.m. 9 a.m. Here we go. Well, let's make it start at 8 a.m. All right, and we're going to actually, Sally Ann Jones is going to be the event owner. We're actually going to bill for her time, and we're going to make that automatic. And let's say we want to invite our paralegal, who is also in our Rocket Matter system. We're going to bill for his time as well. And we're going to go ahead and add that event to the template. And you can see that we've added that event to the template. Let's take a really, there we go. Oh, sorry about that. I have to click that, add, to add the attendee, and we've added Mr. Sam Hill. We're going to add our event to the template. And you can see that, here you'll find a listing of all your events and activities, and you'll be able to check those over and edit them if you need it. Let's go ahead and create a related event. You can see here this link means that this is a parent event, and you can link child events to this event. So let's go ahead and create a task related to this event. We're going to add a task, and we're going to call this tag contact opposing counsel. All right. And in this case, we're going to do that. We want to do that a day later after we meet the client, and we want to link it to this initial meeting with the client. Okay. And the owner of this event will be, again, Sally Ann Jones. We're going to invite our legal Sam. All right. And we're going to go ahead and add that task to our template. And so you can see we're starting to build a string of activities which will be saved into this template. And when we're done adding all of our events and tasks, we're going to come down here and we're going to save our template. Now, of course, templates can get as simple or as complex as we need them to be. As you can see, some of our already existing templates have a few more tasks and activities, but this gives you an idea on how we actually create the template. Now that we've created the template, let's go ahead and actually apply one of the templates to a new matter. So let's say our client comes in. I'm back at my dashboard. Our client comes in, and we're ready to create a new matter. We're going to easily click our Add New button and create a new matter, thanks to our new easy interface. And we can actually go ahead and fill in all this information, which of course will take time. Or we can come over here into our little matter templates section, and we're going to select one of our templates. Let's actually select this uncontested divorce template. All right, no items have been added. Let's actually go ahead and save the matter. And you can see in one click, we've applied the matter template and we've created all of these activities associated with the matter. And so let's actually go ahead and fill in our client information. So let's say our client's name is John Doe. And the matter name, we have our placeholder. We're going to call this John Doe is a new client. Of course, Rocket Matter is prompting us to save their information. Of course, you can add additional information as well. Again, I'm going to keep it really simple today. We're just going to save his basic name information. And we're going to call this Doe versus Doe. All right. And we've opened it today. We're not restricting the viewing of the matter. And our flat fee rate has been inputted automatically. And all of these tasks and activities have been created already. I'm going to save my matter. So it took about 1 minute to create a whole workflow of activities relating to our new uncontested divorce matter. And here we are in our matter dashboard, which of course is a view of all of the activities and events going on in our matter. It makes it easy for lawyers to collaborate. So let's take a look. So we already have some time billed because we already have some time billed. We have upcoming calendar events. We don't need to go and reschedule all of those events. And once we've completed these linked events, other events and tasks will then follow. And you can see that we've already captured some time. We're ready to bill some time, and we're ready to begin working on our matter. And so you can see, with a little bit of prep work by creating matter templates, we save so much time. So yeah, this is just one example of ways that legal productivity software can help automate your workflow, make your life easier, make your life more efficient. And Rocket Matter works really hard to do that. So yeah, so Tim, thanks so much for having me and having Ed speak, and we're available for any questions you might have. We can stick around.
All right. All right. Well, thank you, Ed, and thank you, Rivka. That was really good stuff. But before we get to any questions, in addition to these monthly webinars, we also produce law firm guides and white papers and a Rocket Academy with over 50 recordings of prior webinars. And these can be accessed at our blog. Check out legalproductivity.com and sign up over there for our weekly legal productivity newsletters. Now, one of the questions that a few questions that we've got is this webinar going to be available later to view? And we're going to do a wrap up of this on legal productivity later today. Going to do a little bit of post-production on the video itself and put it up maybe tomorrow or Friday as soon as we get it back. So let's look at a few questions. We did have one. So we do have some Rocket Matter users on the call. And one asked, I don't have the Matter template option in admin. Do you know how that person could go about getting it, Rivka?
Yes, yes. If you're already a Rocket Matter user, by all means, contact our support team. We would be very happy to enable it for you and provide more information for you. You can call us at 8-432-1529. Of course, you can email us as well at support@rocketmatter.com. We'll be very happy to enable that for you.
Okay, here's an interesting question. Can you do negative days in the workflow? Like, for example, before I meet with a client, I should run a conflict of interest check, like a conflicts check. So if my client meeting is the milestone, I need to do things before that.
Right. So then in that case, you would make the client check an earlier milestone rather than making a negative milestone. Make that conflict check a milestone that you accomplish before you get to the next, before you get to the initial meeting or other, or other activities relating to the case. Just make the earlier event an earlier milestone.
We had a couple of questions about whether about some of the other functionalities of Rocket Matter. So one of the things that we wanted to do with this presentation is show you, and we had so many questions about and so much feedback about the new UI and about design and about Matter templates and about workflows and about automating processes and increasing productivity, and that's what we tried to do with this short webinar. And if you do want to see a demo with the rest of the stuff that Rocket Matter does, just go to rocketmatter.com, click on demo in the top nav bar and fill out some information, and someone will get in touch with you and do a one-on-one demo with you. So thanks again to our wonderful presenters, and thanks for attending, everyone. Goodbye.